A man that's be able to abstain himself from doing evil, that's a man.
That's right.
That's what really make a man. Not being able to succumb and sin at will. How that make you a man? Hey man, I can get any hoe I want. I can smoke whatever I want to do.
Right.
I can do all this type of stuff, you know what I mean? But I'm saying that ain't what makes you a man.
Right.
A man is a man that's has integrity.
That's right.
What he say he gonna do, he does what he say he gonna do.
That's right.
That's what makes man man.
Right.
A man has principles and stick by them no matter what. He gets away from people that's not in the same mindset as him.
Right.
You understand? He pushes man to be greater. That's
right.
around him. That's what men do. What you think of? So you just celebrated Juneteenth? Oh, praise, man. So I got a question.
Hey,
are we free as the people?
We out here to teach the 12 tribes of Israel the true gospel.
I understand we have to celebrate
Blacks,
something.
Hispanics, Native Americans are
They're
the
trying to give us
Israelites.
some type of hope.
Hey,
but
you
at the end
already
of
know
the
what
day,
to do.
Juneteenth
Like,
is still not a
share, and
freedom day.
subscribe right now.
Right. So we're trying to show people how to get actual freedom out of the scriptures to show that Christ is dealing with the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American, and he's going to save those people.
That's right.
You gotta change, you gotta be complete. The way you look, you know what it says about being reborn? Give me John chapter 3, verse 3.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
It says we all gotta be reborn. What does it mean to be reborn?
Not to sin no more.
Not to sin no more, all right? That's part.
You have to, you have to do good things. Like you can't do bad things. Like
You can't, okay, that's good, you're right. All right, but I want to take it on a smaller, minute level, right? It says, so you can't do, because I want to be specific. When I ask y'all about culture, I'm specific on what somebody's culture is, right? So what does it mean to, you said you can't sin no more, right? That's what it means to be born again. But I'm gonna go down to the minute level of it. Read.
the book of John, chapter 3, verse 3. Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God.
So to be born again, guess what? The things that you knew, you gotta be retaught like a baby.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? That's what it means to be reborn again, because guess what? We all think we have an understanding of God.
Right.
On how he thinks he wants us to serve him, right? But we don't. Because guess what? You eat to be born again, you have to change the way you eat.
Right.
You have to change, like I said, we went over the law on not shaving your beard, on how you dress,
Right.
on the music you listen to,
Right.
on the people you hang around.
Right.
All these things is being born again. You have to reshape your whole life and being, like become a new person.
That's
what
right.
it means, a whole new person, and not, of course, not sinning. That goes without saying. But even the thing, because it's a sin to listen to the bad music, to listen to music, young NBA boy, I can't even pick on their name. Yeah, oh no, that's a sin. Because guess what? They're promoting sin.
Right.
And that music put a spirit in you to do evil stuff.
Right.
Right? So, being reborn, like I said, you eat pork?
You eat pork?
Yeah. So you eat pizza, you eat pepperoni pizza?
I eat hamburgers.
You eat hamburgers, you eat pork?
The only time I do eat pork, like lobster ribs.
That's pork, that's pork. I used to love me some barbecue ribs. Yeah, he said, well, yeah, but you gotta let it go.
Right.
So go to Leviticus 11. Because being born again is starting out with the things you eat as well.
Right.
The things you grew up eating. So no pork. You eat shrimp?
No, I don't eat shrimp.
You eat lobster?
No.
Catfish? Nothing. So you clean it. You know what I'm saying? So those foods are unclean to us. Those things we're not supposed to eat. Read.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean unto you.
So it says, the swine, which is the pig, is unclean unto you. That's unclean. That's something you can't eat. So you gotta let the ribs go. That's something I had to let go. That was the last demon the last food from the pig was the damn, I ain't really care for bacon like that, but I did love me some ribs too. So you gotta let them go.
That's right.
It's over. You like, huh?
I ate the ribs years ago, but I stopped.
You eat what?
I ate the ribs like years ago.
Oh, okay.
I don't eat them.
Oh, pray. What made you stop?
I kept hating it got between my teeth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pray.
It's good though, but.
Right, so even Polish sausage and some certain hot dogs, all that stuff you gotta be mindful of. A lot of things have pork in it. When you go into the store, when you really, I'm trying to tell you, it's deeper than y'all think. You go into that Rice Krispie treats, all type of stuff have pork in it. They got it in what's Jiffy cornbread. Right, just random stuff, man. So I'm saying when you really, that's like when you really dig deep into it. But I'm saying for the most part, don't eat pork, shrimp, lobster. You know what I'm saying? No catfish. So we have to have, let's read that, 11 verse 8.
Verse 8, of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever hath fins and scales.
So whatever has fins and scales, read.
In the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
Them shall you eat. If it has fins and scales. So if it don't have fins and scales, you can't eat it. You understand? You cannot eat it. That is the law. And guess what? God given us a dietary law because it's for our good. He know how he made our bodies. He made our bodies because he know what's best for them. He said, look, don't eat these things because guess what? They are bottom feeders. These things clean the bottom of the ocean. The pig cleans the farm. You know what I'm saying? They eat anything. So God is trying to tell you, look, in order to live a better life, don't eat these things. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 61. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law.
So it says if you don't want to eat the right things I told you to eat, if you don't want to keep these commandments, and if you want to fornicate, if you want to have sex outside of marriage, this is what's going to happen. Read that again.
Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law.
So every sickness and every plague. What are some sicknesses that the so-called blacks deal with? Diabetes, what else? Cancer. What's the other? From bad eating, high blood pressure, gout, all the different things they have. Guess what? Because we eat bad. We don't eat according to how God tells us to eat. We eat whatever the hell we want. We can't eat pork. We can't eat shrimp. We can't eat lobster. These are the things that we must come back to because we lost our culture. So, like I said, so he said, I'm going to give you every sickness that's not written in this book because during biblical times, there was no such thing as diabetes. There was no such thing as high blood pressure. But now, these things is prevalent all over in our communities. They have dialysis facilities all over the place. Right? And because guess what? But even on the flip side of that, what foods is in our community?
What foods in our community?
Yeah, like all the bad food, right? Fried chicken, greasy food. What is it? It's chicken places. What else is here? Gas station food, liquor stores. All these things is all over our community. We have no good food here. So that's why around in our communities, everybody is sick. It's a correlation. They call them food deserts. They got all the healthy. That's where the Whole Foods is at. But we got all the knockoff grocery stores. So that is a correlation. And guess what? They set that system up so that we can stay sick. Because we have the lowest life expectancy. You know that? We live the shortest lives out of everybody on earth. That's crazy, ain't it? Read.
Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed, and ye shall be left few in number.
So they diminishing our numbers because we eat terrible. We don't want to come back to God like we say the law is done away with. A lot of people hear these words and be like, hey, God ain't gonna kill me for eating no pork. He ain't gonna kill me for eating no ribs.
Right.
But he killing people every day.
That's right.
God is still killing to this day.
Right.
Did you know that? God is the one that's in control of all these things.
That's right.
Nothing has happened without God's express permission. Right? Read.
Whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy God. And it shall come to pass, as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good, and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you.
Hear that? God rejoiced over us to destroy us because we won't do what he say.
Right.
We want to stay, for lack of a better way of saying, niggas.
Right.
We cannot, we've been brought here so that we can get our minds right. So that we can be men of God.
Right.
So that we can stand up for our communities.
Right.
So that we can, you see, we take time out of our day, travel all over the world for people to be able to hear this true gospel.
That's right.
That's our God-given calling.
Right.
That's what makes you stand on business. Even back in the day, the Black Panthers, they stood up. Martin Luther King in that movie.
Right.
SNCC was done by a whole bunch of college kids. Y'all know the ones that stood inside the restaurants and all that type of stuff, and that was by college kids. What are our people doing standing up for our people? We too comfortable here.
Right.
We too comfortable. We gotta stand up. We gotta recognize what we up against, and then we got to see that these people are trying to keep us in an oppressed situation.
That's right.
And until we get our minds right and gather ourselves together and come, and God gonna come and fight for us once we start doing what the Bible says.
That's right.
That's right.
Give me Psalm chapter 94, verse 16. Because God is waiting for the man to step up. You understand? He's waiting on each and every one of y'all to be like, look, this is how you're supposed to live your life. And you do that first by what? Matter of fact, give me Judah 8:24. We do that first by what? How do you get, because it ain't just about you, right? I want you to change, but guess what? We want our brothers to change too. What's the first thing you gotta do if you want other people to change? Can I give them advice? What you think? You gotta change yourself. Right. You gotta get the knowledge to be able to help them change. Read.
The book of Judah, chapter 8, verse 24. Now therefore, O brethren, let us shew an example to our brethren, because their hearts depend upon us.
Right. So it says, let us show an example to our brethren, because their hearts depend, their minds depend upon us.
That's right.
Every time you see somebody that's doing a good example, then you can follow after that example. But if you're leaving a bad example, guess what? They're going to follow behind that.
Right.
You understand? That's why I say it's weird when you're doing the right thing. When you say, hey, look, I want to abstain from sex and marriage, that's weird. Right? Somebody like, damn, you gay?
Right.
That's how far they can take it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, you gay or you still like women? Because you want to do what God say, you gay now.
Right.
Bring it out.
You said what? That's what I'm saying. That's how much it is. The example is when I was a kid, right? My uncles and everybody was like, man, you gotta have 3-4 girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was taught. That's what they told me. And look, my cousin, if you didn't have a girl, you want to talk to a girl, your friends are saying you make it think you was gay.
Right.
Am I lying? No, that's the truth. But guess what? That's what the example that was said before them. But we cannot uphold that same example. A man that's be able to abstain himself from doing evil, that's a man.
That's right.
That's what really make a man. Not being able to succumb and sin at will. How that make you a man? Hey man, I can get any hoe I want. I can smoke whatever I want to do.
Right.
I can do all this type of stuff, you know what I mean? But I'm saying that ain't what make you a man.
Right.
A man is a man has integrity.
That's right.
What he say he gonna do, he does what he say he gonna do.
That's right.
That's what makes man man. A man has principles and stick by him no matter what. He gets away from people that's not in the same mindset as him.
Right.
You understand? He pushes man to be greater.
That's right.
Around him. That's what man do. Yeah. 1 Kings chapter 2, verse 2. So that's what we do. We have to stand on business. We got to stand on the principles of God. And guess what? you're going to get a lot of resistance. If you ain't getting resistance, you ain't doing something right.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you straight up. If you ain't getting resistance from doing what God say, you ain't doing something right. How you doing, sis? What? Let me draw you into the conversation. What makes a man a man? What you think? I couldn't come over here. I don't know exactly what makes a man a man? Yeah. I'm just asking you, your opinion. Okay, ain't all praise. All right, well, we about to read what it is right now. Read.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 2, verse 2. I go the way of all the earth.
So this is King David talking to his son Solomon when he's about to die. These is his last words. Read.
Be thou strong, therefore, and shew thyself a man.
He says, show thyself a man. Read.
And keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes, and his commandments, and his judgments, and his testimonies.
It says that's what makes you a man. To keep his commandments, his statutes, and his judgments.
Yes, right.
That's what it is. So give me Exodus chapter 20 and verse, I think it's what, 13. We start at verse 13. These are just some of the commandments right here that make you a man. Right? Because, read.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 13. Thou shalt not kill.
You hear that? Thou shalt not kill. So we thinking if a man kills somebody, hey man, that's manly. Some people might think that's manly. But that is not manly. That's not showing thyself to be a man. That's weak because you let your emotions take over you. Read.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
So that's being a man is controlling your loins.
That's right.
Controlling your body parts. That's being a man. Not sleeping from woman to woman. Not sleeping with somebody else's woman. Not sleeping with another man. This is showing thyself to be a man. Read.
Thou shalt not steal.
You shouldn't be stealing. That's not being a man. Scamming. That's not being a man. Finessing. Not being a man. You have to get a job. That is what a man does. Read.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
You shouldn't be lying. A man don't lie. Man have integrity.
That's right.
Man say what they mean and do what they say.
That's right.
They word means something. This is what a man is. This is how you show thyself to be a man. Read.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
You shouldn't covet what your neighbor has. That's going into, because before, this is the one of the commandments that deal with the mindset. Because if you covet somebody's stuff, guess what? You're allowed to do it. You're allowed to get it. You will break God's laws to get it. You understand what I'm saying? So that you should not covet when you want something because you want to be on that person's level or to be with the Joneses. A lot of people covet and break God's laws to get those things. And they do all the things that I said before.
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried. From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airways, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world who we are. This is Israel united in Christ. Nation in motion. Nation endures.